The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Suspects on bail told to stay invisible. Police issued the warning after man on bail for 4 murders shot dead. The government to launch consultations on medical marijuana. And we're talking with the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers. And schools set to reopen, public schools open next week. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, August 24th, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, in Morning Blend Business, we're talking with the Bahamas Development Bank and getting a preview of their Get Funded webinar set for this evening. What do you need to know about it? It's all straight ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, a man on bail in relation to 4 murders shot dead on Sunset Drive. It happened yesterday. Chief Superintendent of Police Michael Johnson warning other individuals on bail that they should remain invisible. Johnson said police were alerted to the scene by shot spotter technology at around 9:30 a.m. Police say they discovered the lifeless body of a man who appears to be in his 30s with multiple gunshot wounds. He said the victim was known to police and was being electronically monitored and was on bail for 4 murders as recent as 2018. Police also saying that he had been charged with several other serious offenses, which he is also on bail for, other than the murders. And police again appealing to members of the public for information. They're looking for a small silver-type Japanese vehicle, which was seen leaving the scene. Someone in that vehicle got out of the vehicle and approached the victim, shot him multiple times. Murder victims on bail for serious offenses have become a regular occurrence. In late June, a 45-year-old man who was on bail and being electronically monitored was murdered outside his home in Garden Hills. On July 6th, 2 men who were on bail for serious crimes were shot and killed outside a Summer Haven home. July 16th, a 46-year-old man of Foxdale was also on bail for murder, shot and killed at a nightclub in Fox Hill. Police have repeatedly lamented the fact that many suspects accused of murder and other serious crimes, as well as murder victims, were on bail in relation to murder and other crimes at the time of the new offenses. A judge denying to freeze the bank account of a woman who was previously accused of money laundering pending a civil forfeiture hearing. The commissioner of police had sought a civil forfeiture order for the money held in a Royal Bank account belonging to Leah Davis. The money laundering charge was withdrawn against Davis in March 2020. The prosecution alleged that the money in the account directly or indirectly is or represents the proceeds of criminal conduct. Davis is alleged to have received $44,550 from a fraudulent Ministry of Tourism check for $1.2 million that was made out to the law firm of Campbell Chase Law on September 6, 2019. A social media personality charged with criminal libel, 60-year-old Kay Mills, is accused of publishing a video about Ferran Newbold Sr. on WhatsApp and YouTube on August 3rd with the intention of causing shame. Newbold is the chief counselor in Abaco. Mills pleaded not guilty to the charge at his arraignment before senior magistrate Ancella Evans. He was granted $2,000 bail and was ordered not to make any additional posts about Newbold while the case is pending. Mills returns to court on September 6th. The government is set to launch public consultations on proposed medical marijuana legislation. It plans to announce today a website for the publication of the bills that would affect the medical or marijuana regime. Those bills include the Cannabis Bill, a bill to amend the Dangerous Drugs Act, and a bill to amend the Pharmacy Act. Additionally, the government plans to put on the site various consultation documents regarding the establishment of a cannabis industry, including the report of the CARICOM Regional Commission on Marijuana 2018 and the report on the commission appointed under the Minutes Administration to examine the establishment of such a regime. And the Grand Bahama Port Authority firing back at Prime Minister Philip Davis's assertion that the government is subsidizing the Port Authority, arguing that it is not in a competition with the government. The port saying that it is in fulfilling its industrial development, various regulatory and environmental oversights and city management mandate. And it says that it is funded exclusively by approximately 3,000 licensees. While visiting the island on Friday, Davis told reporters that the government has taken over the role of the GBPA. He said, quote, "It is clear to me that the interests of the owners do not truly align with the interest of the people of Grand Bahama, and Freeport in particular. Until those align, we will have no growth." Overseas, voting is still underway in Zimbabwe, where hours-long delays in distributing ballot papers forced the president to extend the general election by a day at dozens of polling stations. Some frustrated voters slept at the polling stations in the capital, snuggling under blankets or lighting fires to keep warm. The president, who seeks a second term, used his presidential powers to extend voting to Thursday night at dozens of polling stations. Ballot papers were still being printed late Wednesday, hours after voting should have closed. At other polling stations, counting of ballots began. Zimbabwe has a history of violent and disputed elections. 80-year-old President Emerson Mnangagwa has claimed Zimbabwe to be a master of democracy, while criticizing Western countries that expressed concern about the credibility of polls weeks ago. In sports, lots of excitement out of Budapest with the World Athletic Championships. For the latest, our man in Hungary, Sheldon Longley.
Championship. I have with me Devon Charlton, just booking her ticket into the final of the women's 100 meter hurdles, her 5th straight global final. That's indoors and outdoors. Let's talk and see how she felt about the race. Devon, I'll take us through your race or no?
I thought start was decent, could have been a whole lot better. And then had some shaky points, didn't execute as well as I did yesterday, but I think the fact that I still ran about the same time, once I cleaned this race up tomorrow, it'll be a whole lot better and could definitely contend for a medal.
Like you said, your start could be a little better. You had to come back on tapper and the other athlete in the race to get that second position. That shows that your finish is improving as well.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think under pressure, I can dig down and just find something, but hoping that I'll already be leading the pack, and so then by that time, I'm just trying to hold the lead.
Are you confident you can put the perfect race together in the final?
I think so. I'm going to get back with my coach, see what we did wrong, definitely focus on that in the warm-up, and make sure that I have a better race tomorrow.
It's a stock final. You got a couple Americans and the other 3 Jamaicans. It's going to be very tough.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I never show up to this type of meet and underestimate the competition. With the women's hurdles, it's always going to be a deep field, so that's something that isn't even a factor. You just have to go out there and do what you need to do.
And how does it feel to be in another final, another global final?
It feels good. I think it speaks to my consistency. It speaks to the plan Coach Green and I have in place, and that when it comes time to run big, we're always able to put it together.
Okay, one more question. It's been kind of unfortunate so far for the Bahamas with Stevie going on, Laquan going on. How's the team bonding around those athletes right now?
I haven't gotten a chance to see or speak to them since the accidents. Laquan this morning and Stevie last night, but I just know the rest of the team and I were just heartbroken for them. I was watching live back at the hotel, and it was a heartbreaking sight. Hate to see it happen to one of our own, but it comes with the sport, it comes with the territory, and I have no doubt that both they'll be back stronger.
At Bahamas at Steffon Charlton running a time of 12.49 seconds. She was second in the heat, and she will be in another final going after medal tomorrow. You from Budapest, Hungary, and I can tell you that the weather here, it is still hot and humid. It is up to 87 degrees, and it has been hot and humid for the duration of the championships. We see that a lot of athletes are suffering from it, catching cramps. Some are suffering from dehydration. A lot are falling out on the track because of the heat. It is very, very hot and humid here in Budapest. It even affected a few of our athletes to the point where we believe it had an effect on Stevie with his injury. It might have had an effect on Laquan with his injury as well. But so far, our athletes are dealing with it, and they are performing as best as they can. We have 2 athletes remaining, Athletics Strachan in the semifinal of the women's 200 meters, and Devon Charlton in the final of the women's 100-meter hurdles. Tonight, Athletics is going to run at 7:54 p.m. She's going to be in the second of 3 semifinal heats, and she's going to run out of lane number 7. It's going to come your way at 7:54 p.m. here in Budapest, which is going to be 1:54 p.m. in the Bahamas. So just in case you want to see that one, but you're going to want to see that one, just the top 2 finishers and the next 2 fastest times move on to the final. Anthony, she will be in heat number 2, lane 7. Following that, we're going to have Devon Charlton. She's going to be in the final of the women's 100-meter hurdles. It's her 5th straight global final. That's indoors and outdoors. Sorry, 4th straight. That's 2 indoors and 2 outdoors. She will be in lane 6 tonight, and that race is going to come your way at 8:45 p.m. tonight in Budapest, which is going to be 2:45 p.m. in the Bahamas. Devon Charlton going after what she hopes will be her first outdoor medal at the world level, running in lane 6 tonight at 8:45 here in Budapest, 2:45 p.m. in the Bahamas. As for Antonique, she will have to be among the top 2 or the next 2 fastest times to move on to the final, which will be on Friday. Just to give you a little rundown of everything that happened yesterday, Chris Taylor, she was in the qualifying rounds of the women's triple jump. She finished 29th overall. She had a best of 13.51 meters. 13.51 meters, that was her best effort, and she finished 29th overall in the women's triple jump. Laquan Nan, he's fouled out of the men's long jump. He fouled on all 3 of his attempts, and he suffered an injury on the 3rd one. Our reports coming in this morning is that it's an ankle and a knee injury. It's a combination of both that has Laquan sidelined. No information on how long he will be out, if he will miss the remainder of the season, if he will miss a portion of next season, or what's what. We're still waiting on the final word to get from our medical officers here in Budapest on Laquan. As for Stevie, we could say that he suffered a grade 1 sprain of the tendon that is attached to his right posterior thigh. He will be out for the remainder of the season, but expected to make a full recovery in time for next season. So once again, just 2 more Bahamians in action. That will be Anthony Strachan in the semifinals of the women's 200 meters tonight at 7:54 p.m., running out of lane number 7 in heat 2. And Devon Charlton in the final of the women's 100-meter hurdles. She will be in lane 6. That's going to come your way at 8:45 p.m. here in Budapest, 2:45 p.m. in the Bahamas. This is Sheldon Long reporting live from the site of the 19th World Athletics Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
Thank you, Sheldon. And that is sports. Sports brought to you by Carey's Fabric and Uniform Store, which is fully stocked with uniform skirts, jumpers, shorts, pants, blouses, and shirts. All Carey's. At Carey's, you can find cotton shirts with the school logo embroidered on it. Carey's also has underwear, socks, and school bags. That's Carey's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street. Give them a call, 393-0758. Time for your first look at weather for today, brought to you by Nescafe Coffee. We've got Tropical Storm Franklin that continues to move away from the area. It's moving toward the northeast now. Meanwhile, a weak frontal boundary will migrate near the extreme northwest Bahamas. So the tropical storm warning for the Turks and Caicos has been discontinued. Boaters should be alert, though, for possible water spot activity, and swimmers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution as there's a risk of rip currents along east coast beaches. And we're expecting another scorcher today. Everyone's expected or being advised to remain hydrated and limit extended outdoor periods due to the triple-digit heat indices. All right, for today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, partly and mostly sunny and hot with a chance of a few isolated showers or thunderstorms, mainly near the frontal boundary, mostly fair and warm with a chance of a few isolated showers tonight. Small craft should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. Seas 2 to 4 feet near shore, but up to 5 feet along Atlantic exposures. For the southeast Bahamas, variable cloudiness and very warm conditions expected today with a few scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Small craft should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds northerly at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet near shore, but up to 3 to 5 feet in easterly swells along Atlantic exposures. Temperature-wise, right now we're at about 81, 82 degrees. We're looking at highs getting to around 91. That's Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The heat index will make you feel like it's 105 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook and look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit. This first look at weather brought to you by Nescafe Coffee. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Are you dreaming of the perfect summer getaway? Apply for a debt consolidation or personal loan to win an airline ticket to Paris, Miami, or New York. Win up to $2,500 in cash and more. For details, call 356-7764 for Nassau, 602-6811 for Freeport, 823-4374 for Abaco.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969 or text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne, good morning. Are you there?
I'm so sorry. I was telling you good morning, but I was muted.
Oh, my. Always the dreaded mute button there. But thank you. Good morning. Hope all is well up there in Grand Bahama.
Yes.
Wonderful stuff. All right. A lot to get to this morning. Coming up, we're going to be talking with the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Belinda Wilson, and a lot to talk to her about as schools are set to reopen just in a matter of days. And later in business, we are talking with the Bahamas Development Bank. They have a get-funded webinar set for this evening. We'll get the details about that. So that's all straight ahead. But let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, here we go again, Laverne. Another man out on bail for multiple murders is murdered.
I think we just need to accept the fact that vigilante justice is going on.
Oh, that's what you think we should accept? I think what we should accept is
when I say accept it, I'm not saying to just be okay with it.
Oh, I know what you mean.
To realize that is, that's what's happening.
No, that's not what's happening. This is the official policy of the Bahamas. That if you are accused of murder, you get bail and then you're murdered. We need to accept that.
Wow.
Because nothing's being done about it. We're telling people who get bail for 4 murders or more to stay invisible. What does that mean?
I don't know.
That's what we're doing. So this obviously is the policy.
I need to understand, and I guess that's just the law, so we can't take away their right. How you could have 4 murders and you could get bail.
You can take away the right. We have lots of things that you can't do around here.
Behind that.
Lots of things we're not allowed to do around here. Lots of things. So this is insane, but this is obviously what we want. We don't have to pretend, right? Every few days, this is what's going on. This is the strategy to deal with crime. Prove me wrong, lawmakers. Judges, lawyers. I mean, seriously, I think it's time now. I mean, people have been saying what's up with these judges, but, the law ties their hand. No. Somebody comes in front of you, they're on bail for 3 murders already. This is ridiculous.
I don't get it. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Someone already, 3 murders here, so, okay, for the 4th one, at what point do you say, you know what? No.
After the first.
We're going to remind you. No, you're not going to get bail.
Yeah. Wow. It sounds insane. It used to to hear somebody get bail for one murder. But to be out on bail for 4? And this is after we were shocked about the one who was out on bail for 6 a few months ago, you remember? So this is it. Do we right? Do we hear about people in other places being beheaded and hanged and shot by firing squad and executed in lethal injection? In the Bahamas, you get bail and you're murdered. That's what happens. And we just have to accept it. Write that into the rules and let everyone know. Clearly, this is the policy. Wow. What is really going on here?
Yeah, that's the question. What's really going on? Because this doesn't make any sense.
Let's hear what you have to say, folks. Maybe you're happy with the policy. Well, yeah, you can't. I don't know what to do. Let me hear what you have to say. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Wow. I'm really speechless, Laverne. I don't know what more to say.
No, and I get it. I absolutely get it. This is crazy. It just does not add up to me.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine being a judge and someone is coming before me for bail and for murder, and I'm looking and seeing that, well, you are already on bail for 3 murders. Okay, we'll go for 4. There has to be something in the law where I, as the judge, can make a judgment call, judgment call.
No.
And I can say, no.
But this one is even more bizarre. So the victims known to police was being electronically monitored, was on bail for 4 murders as recent as 2018. So they're not getting tried anytime soon, it seems, right? He's been charged with several other serious offenses, which he was also on bail for. This is like a joke. This is a joke, right? So you're not only bail for murder, but other serious offenses other than the murders. So you just what? Whatever? Oh, boy. You again? Here's your bail. Get out.
Can a person get?
Unlimited. We got more bail than sand in this country. I don't understand. And we're supposed to be taken seriously? But, I mean, by children, by people abroad, by anybody? I mean, what type of jokey place is this? 4 murders and other things. And so we don't even have to guess what happened. Anyway, let me not get myself into trouble here. Oh, boy. Make it make sense. Caller, do you understand what's going on here? Good morning.
Yes, I do. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi.
Morning.
But the problem is, I will know you and Laverne understand what's going on, because the amount of times we didn't have this topic, it seems like you and Laverne still asking the same question. What is going on?
So what should happen? Should we not report on it anymore? Don't talk about it anymore? They're driving up the murder rate, but don't worry about it.
Yes, we can report on it, but after so many times, we should be zeroing in on exactly what the greater problem lies. Because, like I said before, once or twice before on your show, Dwight, the criminals go before the courts. They don't give themselves bail.
Mm-hmm. Well, we get that. So what are we saying? So why aren't our lawmakers and the courts doing something about this?
Because it's all corruption, right? Mm-hmm. It's corruption. This place is rotten and corrupt to the core. And when I tell you this, I ain't telling you something what I hear somebody say. I've had criminals when I used to run my nightclub in the Grove. I've had criminals come to me people in minor matters you get mixed up in the police and tell you which lawyers to go to get you off. Because them and the magistrates are working together. But see, nobody wants to hear that. The criminals don't give themselves bail. If I was an investigator, if I was a journalist, I would go a little deeper, and I would, I'll take a sample of about 20 cases over the course of the year, and I would go look at who the lawyers are, who involved in these 20 cases. And if a name pop up more than 3, 4, 5 times, then you could start to know this.
We already know. We already know. We don't have to pretend. But I mean, then what? Because everybody knows. So what's happening? So this is just what we want. This is the place we are in. This is the most corrupt country, probably in the Western Hemisphere. So what? Then what? Just carry on smartly and try not to get myself killed? Is that what you're saying? What?
That's right. If we try to expose what we think is going on a regular basis, maybe, because obviously the more lawmakers ain't doing nothing, and then the 2 or 3 top men in this country, that's how they make their money. So if we start to expose things, to try to expose, you may not have to call names, but you say, man, listen, these lawyers and whoever got to stop this foolishness. It may shake them off, you know what I mean? But that is what is happening, right?
You know it won't do anything.
Okay, thanks for taking
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Everybody knows. Everybody tells you who to go to. Same lawyers he's talking about. Everybody knows this is just the way it is. This is the policy of the Bahamas. And the government needs to admit that they have sanctioned this. This is what we do, and this is how we deal with the problem. Bam.
But here's the thing, just based on what the text is saying. Okay, let's go. Everybody knows who lawyer to go to. But what is it? This lawyer just has magical powers? Because the lawyer still has to go before a judge.
It's more than lawyers. He's saying it's everybody.
Right.
He's saying it's lawyers,
so
judges,
it's not
magistrates,
just
lawmakers.
Okay, yeah, you know which lawyers to go to, but then we have to say these lawyers know which judge to go before, eh?
Well. Let's read some of these text messages. You can continue to call in. This texter says it's the height of slackness and foolishness. That's what's going on. This person says, what I find disturbing is that no one from the judiciary has made any comment. Judges, lawyers, no one. If their hands are tied because of the law, why aren't they also agitating for amendments? Ha, ha, ha. Hoi. Well, then, will they make money?
Good question.
Will they make money? This one says here, Dwight Laverne, our bail laws are making St. Kitts and Nevis' prime minister's comments look like a profit. Profit, I mean, okay. Well, many people here were asking the same questions. This one says here, I think the issue of being out with multiple bail is a symptom, not the core issue. Bail is a constitutional right. Yeah. The true problem is the cases are not being tried in an efficient time. That's not it. People are getting bail for murders they committed months ago. So that's not it. They have told you this. They've led you to believe this. But that's not it. That's what may need to be addressed first.
Right, even if that's let's go with that. I'm still saying, if you are waiting for your trial to come up, but how often am I going to give you bail?
Yeah. Because it's your constitutional right.
Because your trial has to come up in the next 2 years, in the last 2 years, you go out and get yourself involved in some sort of criminal activity again. I'm going to give you bail for that. Then a year, 6 months to a year later, you get yourself involved in another murder, and I'm going to give you bail for that. And my reasoning is, if the first child is, like at what point do I say, listen, clearly you want to be a career criminal. You are a menace to society. I have to remove you off the street. You could wait in prison until your trial come up, whichever one. The first murder, the second murder, the third murder, the armed breaker, the armed robbery, the rape, whatever it is. You wait for them in prison.
Yep. Well, I mean, I just love how people bring up the Constitution when it's convenient, right? The same Constitution says that the penalty for murder is capital death. And, well, we're doing now street death, but capital. But when was the last time that happened? Yeah. So Constitution, please. Anyway, they go on to say that's what definitely needs to be addressed. Absolutely, not denying that. Remember, every citizen is innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, sure. Whatever. If you come to me with 3 murder charges, I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. Well, either the police really hate you, which is possible. 4, but maybe before this, right? But the police really hate you, which is a possibility. And they try to frame you for everything. Or you really are a horrible person. So which chance we want to take here? Which one? Okay. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Right.
Hi.
I called right back to answer Laverne. Laverne asked you a question, and I can give her a real scenario. She said that these criminals and lawyers got to go before a magistrate. Wait, come on, put on your thinking cap. I just called earlier and tell you it's corruption. Now, I had a son. See, that's why I tell you when I call, I don't talk fool on the shows. I speak reality. I had a son. He was charged with 3 murders.
What?
Right? I asked him, how the hell do you get out on bail? As a matter of fact, a couple of his friends in the Grove, because I had a club in the Grove, and he tells me, the magistrate, the judge, it's lawyer, it's the dealer. I say, but how you get out of 3 bail? He said the lawyer told him, I could get you out. You just go get my money. See, that's why these fellas reoffended what Laverne was saying. They got to go get that lawyer money if they can get it. And then the lawyer told him, don't worry about the magistrate, because me and I just been on 3 days ago.
You said this before, and you made me very nervous then, and you're doing it again. Okay, thank you very much for that. But we have when next time you call, we're going to ask you about you and your son and what's going on anyway. Oh, boy. Okay. Laverne, you happy now?
Right? What? We're talking about corruption. We're talking about corruption.
Yeah. This texter says the
He
point
didn't call any names. He just said what his son told him. You don't believe him? You don't believe the son?
I don't believe anything. I can't believe anything that's happening right now. I'm in shock. So belief,
because that story sounds very believable.
Sadly.
Exactly.
This texter says the point we're missing is that the last murder was in 2018. Why wasn't the first one held yet? When was the first murder that he got bail for? Another one here.
Who knows?
Yeah. If you want to see why the bail...
And don't forget the murder and, like you said,
many other
serious
offenses.
crimes.
That's right. Yes, he's very busy. Was very busy. If you want to see why the bail is so frequently given, start publicly identifying the lawyers and judges in these cases. You all know. You all read the papers, right? It's always the same 4 lawyers. You know exactly. And
I really have to start making a note.
Where you're going to get all
Let's
all
do
of
that,
us,
Dwight, for the
all
next
of us in
6
problems.
months.
Oh, I don't need to.
No.
I know
We're
exactly.
not making a note to publicize.
I know,
We're gonna make
but
a note.
I know,
Right.
but you're gonna have to hire.
What are we gonna? I should make a
let
note
me just
if
finish
it's
the text.
reported on the news.
Right. Let me just finish the text here. You're all looking for trouble. You're right. Anyway, watch the same names involved, and then you will see the pattern. The silence by other judges. Oh, my gosh. I wish I would call in and say these things. Let me have to read this. The silence by other judges and lawyers about addressing these issues only confirms their sole desire is to make money. We started off wrong from the last election with the AG and National Defense Minister talking about everything apart from fixing the judicial system. Tell Laverne the magical power is money. That's what gets everybody out, I guess. I can't even show my shoulders in a government office, but people can get bail for 4 separate murder charges. Make it make sense. Yep. Isn't that
Yeah,
wild?
that's right.
Isn't
You
that
can't
wild?
even. I think my sister served on jury, and I think it was what couldn't wear open toe shoes as a juror, something like that.
Yeah, lock her up quick. Lock her up quick. Throw away the key. How dare you?
Don't come in here with your open toe shoes.
You have a lot of nerve. You're a disgrace to society. A disgrace.
You cannot serve.
You shouldn't be anywhere.
We'll give you bail for your murder.
People are innocent until proven guilty. The police charge the wrong people many times, sometimes intentionally. The answer is to speed up the process. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Yeah. This one says here, the caller said he had a son. Obviously, the son has passed. He can speak about the matter without repercussions. You're safe. He didn't call any names. While the caller makes you nervous, we must consider that corruption in our courts and legal system may be real and have to speak out before it hits our doorstep directly. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This one says, too much corruption in our country, 4 murders and gets bail. I'm scratching my head on this one. Yep. It still isn't shocking anymore because of the guy a few months ago with the 6 murders, right? So anything smaller than 6 is like jokes.
Why I want us to continue to be shocked, okay? I don't ever want it to come to a place where we hear stories like this, whether it's 4, it's 6, it's 2, it's 3, and we're like, okay.
This person says here, maybe we ought to elect judges in the future when we get local government. Boy. The pros and cons of that one. Pros and cons of that one. Let's take these calls before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller, you're on the air. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Mr. Strachan.
Hi.
Laverne. Dwight, don't dismiss what Stop is saying. A quick scenario. Laverne, everybody else, sometimes you know people unless you know their past, right? But I'll share this with you, and I'll try to be as discreet as possible. But the thing is, you know how much for bail in Supreme Court, right? You know how much it is, right? A bail application. When they took the discretion from the magistrate, you know what it is to get a bail in Supreme Court, Dwight? You know how much it costs?
No.
It's $15,000. All right? And I'll leave it at that. But I'll tell you this. The police do lie. They try to frame me. Oh, God, how old I was. I must have been in my 30s. But a very serious crime. But my family members knew I was home. My father was a high-ranking officer at the time also. So they have these little vindictive things that goes on. Somebody actually, because me and somebody looked alike, they put me on an ID parade, and it's a very high-ranking officer. He's politically polarized. That's when the ID parade was on Chesapeake Road. I don't know if you know this, but remember that, right? The DU used to have the ID. So they put up someone to come in there. I stand up at 8 other or 7 other black, tall guys, and I was the only tall, bright one. And I could see the figure come to the glass and point at me. I had a missing teeth at the time, because I ended up turning my teeth up so he could see it. And the person found out and said it was me. But actually, it wasn't me, Dwight. I'm just telling you that, Dwight. And when I walk out of that ID room, I start cussing until I reach the bus, until they carry me back by CID. And I tell the officer, I say, you ain't going to jail me and your children, and you ain't going to jail me and you got your children in the States. You talking about how they playing basketball and where, but this is what it's called. And also, the police lied on me also. My brother, he's a Rasta, right? Also, and so they found a piece of weed. This is why they didn't want to decriminalize the insignificant amounts of marijuana. It wasn't even nothing much, Dwight. It might have been about a 3/4 or a half ounce of weed. I have a nephew who is an officer, and they told him that they found it in my room, but it was not in my room. Me and the little nieces and nephew was there. They knew that it was my brother's room, but they just wanted to lock me up. So they said they found it in my room. So Dwight, it's very inglorious what's going on. There's a lot of things. You see, what schools have a show called Inside the Inner City, right? But if you delve into the psyche, into the inner city youths, things going on the police force and in this country, you wouldn't believe what's going on, Dwight. That's what I'm saying, Dwight. So don't dismiss like we in the seat of the scornful and be somebody. Listen, we is a corrupt nation, Dwight. And I just said people mitigating until we mitigate ourselves right into a sinking sand. That's what's going on in this country. We hate to admit things, Dwight. My brother told me he gave a lawyer a couple of grand to do something. The lawyer ain't do nothing yet. He had to go to the bar association. What you think going on in this country? Right, let me show you something, man. Some things, That's why investigative journalists need it. Some days I can say it, but I wouldn't like to say it because I don't want to be a problem for people. And then we have officers disreputable, still on the force, Dwight. There's nothing being done to impede corruption. It's just the way it is, Dwight. And the poor people will always catch the hell because they suffer the injustices in the inner city. Police officers handcuff you, beat you while you handcuff. Nothing comes out of it. You can't get the next. I gave a statement to a police officer who grew up in the Grove, and he watched them brutalize me. While I handcuffed, bloody up my hair, try send me in the cell without going to the hospital. The sergeant said, no, you can't bring him in, you can't go to the hospital first. They let me go in the rain, Dwight. When I put his name down as a witness, he said, I can't give witnesses. This is what they telling me. So, and then, firstly, condolences to Philando Williams' mother. Okay? Now, he grew up in the Grove, Dwight, to Exuma Street. I used to watch his mother walk him to Big Pond Primary. So the last time I would have seen Philando, he might have been about 5 or 6, okay? Now, I haven't seen him from then, but I've been, hearing that's Ballhead's son. And his father was killed by the police to the same road. And he didn't have a gun on him. His father was killed, the officer, but he might have had a gun on him, but he didn't have a gun on him. Let's say the police, someone calls and says, you got a gun on you, 12 o'clock. The police see you, they shoot you 1 o'clock. After the police found he didn't have a gun, they lied. The police officer was suspended, and now he's back on the force. So I don't know how that affected his psyche. His father worked in the Ministry of Works. His father is the grandson of Sir Clifford Darling. So everybody has a family split. What I'm saying is I'm trying to show you there's a kangaroo system in the courts. Now, I'm not agreeing with what he was doing. I don't know what he was doing. But even if you're not guilty of everything, the police, because they keep hearing your name, they try to solve this problem, Dwight. And everything is all about money. Some things I can't even tell you. Sometimes they do it. They come behind a person and tell the person, give them some money, and then they ease up off them. The country is gone, man. There's nothing in place securing people's rights. But nothing. It's like a mess. Listen, even in the States, you go online and look at the 100 police killings, and you'll be surprised to know what they're allowed to get away with. Look at the Mississippi right now. The world is in a mess, but black people will always get the brunt of injustices, Dwight. That's just the way it is, and they wouldn't do nothing about it. And all of this foolishness about equality and inclusiveness, those are globalists pushing things. Nothing is going to happen. The world is not going to be, we're being duped.
Wow.
Bless up.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Take this call. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Dwight.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, that was a good record by 52. I changed my narrative, and I usually call the show with doom and gloom, but, we just observe it, Dwight. 52 hit it head on, and because the capitalist system meeting the ends. Value is being shifted now. That's why murder is the number one story, so we can be, and so for whatever reason, free advertising, people are trying to get their ends met. Ends never meet. So even all across the news, you'll see the same story. Even that male girl. Why did the doctor or why did the parents? It's all about money and image. So don't be surprised when the bill is to 10 and 20. Because the lawyers pretty much, they rule the system and they're the politicians, so they can set the laws. And, it's a circulating neo-capitalist system. And there's no, you always ask, so what's the solution? There's no more solutions to it. The only thing that we could do to make it by and just get lucky. But I'll leave you with this. I remember maybe 10 years ago, Teach Grant, he had a 9 o'clock spot. And just came home from school, saw the headlines that said, murder, man on bail.
Oh, boy, we lost him. Okay. Sorry we lost you. That sounded like it was going to be interesting. Okay, couple messages as we go to the break. Dwight, finally you see what I've been texting for years. The lawmakers have always been the problem with crime and corruption in the Bahamas. They do just enough to appear as if they wanted to end, but it's a money thing. They can start with removing the term current from the sentencing guidelines for judges. I'm not certain if that is a guideline. I just think that's what they do. but I don't know. This one says here, yeah, well, okay. All right. This one says, things are not going to change this country with our legislators until it starts to hit them at their doorsteps. Sad to say. Yeah. That is indeed very sad. Wow. This is a lot. And as the caller said, Laverne, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to get any better. I don't know. I don't feel it. I'm not feeling it. Feeling less hopeful. And clearly, with the silence,
have some sort of hope, Dwight.
Well.
We have to have some sort of hope that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that things can improve.
Okay.
Because if you don't have that hope, you won't get up out of bed in the morning.
Well, that's how I feel. And the only hope I have is that
we got to push past that.
Oh,
because and if we don't, then those who are those criminals, because it isn't the majority of us, those criminals, and I'm including whoever is corrupt, and they win.
Yeah. The only hope I have is for the some of the lawmakers and some of the judiciary and some of the lawyers will move out of the way and move on. That's the only hope. Otherwise, I don't know. But clearly, this is how we like it. Nothing's changing. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we're talking about the new school year with BUT President Belinda Wilson. Stay tuned for that. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
It's time for a check of traffic at 7:50. RBC. Start your home journey with an RBC mortgage today. In your real-time traffic, Mile Butler Highway. Heavy traffic from just north of Fire Trail straight up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway and the northbound lanes there. Things are busy on Gladstone Road as well, but just as you approach Munnings Road, if you're heading northbound. Elsewhere, Blue Hill Road, just north of Soldier Road also. Going to be seeing that heavy traffic, that long line, as you make your way northbound to the roundabout with Independence Drive. Elsewhere, we've got Robinson Road and Old Trail looking a bit congested there, but not as busy as we're likely to see in a bit. And some building traffic at Fox Hill heading northbound to Prince Charles Drive. Sydney Party Bridge also looking busy northbound to Paradise Island, of course. That's what we're seeing right now. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Visit RBC.60 seconds to connect with RBC today. And it's time for another check of your weather, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got Tropical Storm Franklin that continues to move north-northeast away from the area. Meanwhile, a weak frontal boundary will migrate into the extreme northwest Bahamas today. The tropical storm warning for the Turks and Caicos Islands, it's been lifted now. It's discontinued, but boaters, water spout activity, and swimmers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution as there's a risk of rip currents along east coast beaches. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, your forecast: partly to mostly sunny and hot with a chance of a few isolated showers or thunderstorms, mainly near the frontal boundary. Mostly fair and warm with a chance of a few isolated showers tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, variable cloudiness and very warm conditions expected with a few scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Small craft should be alert for seen or near showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures today getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 105 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your extended outlook, Tropical Storm Franklin will continue to move away from the area while generally along the East Coast beaches. So for Friday, partly to mostly sunny and very warm with a few isolated showers and possible thunderstorms. Expect breezy conditions across the extreme northwest Bahamas. Saturday, partly sunny and warm with a chance of a few passing showers. We'll have a look at the tropics coming up in our 8 o'clock weather check after the news. But this weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Do you think you can't afford a new electric vehicle? Well, think again. Easy Car Sales has many models of EVs competitively priced to suit your pocketbook and your lifestyle. Take a test drive and find out why the world transportation. You will love the smooth ride and the big savings. And during August, you'll get a chance to win a tablet in a weekly drawing. Drop into Easy Car Sales on Gladstone Road or visit easy242.com to find your EV and dump the gas pump today.
There's a new electric vehicle in town. The Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans. Available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride at a fraction of the cost to drive, leave the pump behind and hit the road with Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing. Hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together. Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey. For every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard to find right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Indulge in an experience that awakens your senses with Nescafe Gold. Premium Arabica coffee beans, carefully selected, roasted to perfection, and finely ground, resulting in a unique and unmatched flavor and aroma that captivates the senses. Enticing aroma, smooth taste. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
Grab your camera, capture the spirit of the Bahamas, and win cash and prizes. Scotiabank, in partnership with the Guardian Media Group, invites all youth, amateur, and professional photographers to enter the Celebrate Bahamas 50 photography competition, being held under the theme One Nation, One Legacy, Our Future. With more than $8,000 in cash to be won, snap those photos and send them in by August 30th. Visit GuardianTalkRadio.com or bs.scotiabank.com to find out how to enter. Let's celebrate our proud nation in photos. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes! And they all these guys talking but they can't find no good man. And they must see the eye closely. Let me tell you why. Oh, when you listen to this. Yes, sir.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And this morning, as we prepare for back to school for the opening of public schools next week, we are very pleased to have with us President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Belinda Wilson. Belinda Wilson, good morning. Always a pleasure.
Morning.
Great to have you with us. All right, so we're going to go to news in just a bit, but let's get your assessment. I know you've been going around doing tours, what you're seeing so far. Are the schools ready for next week?
We have a number of schools that are not ready.
And we're talking about R.M. Bailey, Government High, Sybil Strawn, Penn Pratt, Wims's Bite, Preston Albury, Roxanne Primary, Uriah McPhee, T.A. Thompson, Jack Haywood, Senior Sadie Curtis, C.R. Walker, Woodcock Primary, Richland Primary, Palmdale Primary, L.W. Young, Thelma Gibson. All of these schools are having some type or level of construction or renovation or work that is ongoing. One or two of them have water issues. The air conditioner at Uriah McPhee are malfunctioning. So that's the information that I have so far, because some of our schools, teachers did not have their school. They met at other schools for the past 2 days. So when they get back to school, the shop store will be able to give me updates from other schools. But work continues. And I just wonder, like, which minister, which government, which person is going to just once have these repairs and renovations done in a timely manner so that when teachers and children arrive at school day one, they'll be able to just go into their classrooms and begin teaching and learning. Every year. The same thing. Every year.
Okay, we're going to go to news. We pick this up on the other side. A lot to talk to you about, Belinda Wilson. We'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We can talk radio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. And now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got Tropical Storm Franklin that continues to move away from the area. It's moving toward the northeast, away from the Turks and Caicos Islands, and our weak front boundary is going to move near the extreme northwest Bahamas today. So, with Franklin moving away, the tropical storm warning for the Turks and Caicos Islands has been lifted, and boaters still being asked to remain alert for possible waterspout activity, and swimmers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution as there's a risk of rip currents along east coast beaches. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, we're looking at partly to mostly sunny and hot conditions with a chance of a few isolated showers or thunderstorms, mainly near that frontal boundary. Mostly fair and warm with a chance of a few isolated showers tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, variable cloudiness and very warm conditions expected with a few scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Temperatures today getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 105 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your extended outlook, Tropical Storm Franklin will continue to move further east of the area while generating easterly swells along the east coast beaches behind it. So for tomorrow, Friday, we're looking at partly to mostly sunny and very warm conditions with a few isolated showers and possible thunderstorms. Expect breezy conditions across the extreme northwest Bahamas. And for Saturday, partly sunny and warm with the chance of a few passing showers. In the tropics, we'll tell you more about Franklin in just a bit. Elsewhere, we've got 3 other areas being monitored. We've got the remnants of Tropical Storm Emily. That has now a 70% chance of regeneration over the next 7 days. That's a pretty high chance. And then we've got an area of low pressure several hundred miles west of the Cabo Verde Islands. That has a medium chance, about 40% chance for tropical cyclone formation through the next 7 days. And we've got another area of low pressure that could form in a couple of days in the northwestern Caribbean Sea. That system has only about a 20% chance for cyclone formation during the next 7 days right now. So, the latest with Franklin. The all-clear has been given for the Turks and Caicos Islands, and the tropical storm warning has been lifted. As of 5 o'clock this morning, Franklin was about 55 miles east-northeast of Coburn Town, 220 miles east-northeast of Matthewtown in Anagua. Franklin is moving toward the north near 13 miles per hour and a turn toward the northeast and then east-northeast with a decrease in forward speed is forecast during the next couple of days. On the forecast track, the center of Franklin will continue to move further away from the Turks and Caicos Islands and over the southwestern Atlantic into the weekend. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 105 miles, mainly to the north and east from the center, but this will be the final alert on Franklin. And that is your Morning Blend Weather Check, brought to you by Bahamas First. Visit firstonlineinsurance.com and select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online, or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years as the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Start your home journey with an RBC mortgage today. Things improving on Milo Butler Highway. Traffic about midway now between Fire Trail and Tawny Gloom's Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. So along along Harold Pond, you'll notice that heavy traffic in front of you. Elsewhere, Gladstone are looking good too, just until you get to Munnings Road this morning. Elsewhere, we've got East Street and Soldier Road, that intersection looking congested for you. And further west on Soldier, just north of Soldier Road, you'll see heavy traffic on Blue Hill Road, heading toward the roundabout with Independence Drive. And then further east on Soldier Road, we've got near Windsor Place and up to Old Trail. And past that, you're going to be seeing heavy traffic there with the schools in that area. Robinson and Old Trail, also heavy traffic between Old Trail and Soldier Road for Robinson if you're heading westbound. Those are your hot spots right now. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with RBC today. We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. We're talking with Belinda Wilson, the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers. Before the break, you gave us a very long list of schools that are still being worked on right now. I mean, that list is longer than I thought it was going to be. It seems like you might as well have given the list of the schools that don't need any work. That would have been shorter. But what's happening? Well, how significant is the work that's being done? Is it enough to disrupt school when classes resume next week? What are we talking about here? Are you muted?
I'm here.
Okay, there you go. All right, yeah. How significant is the work that's being done there? Is it going to disrupt classes next week, or what are we looking at?
Well, the various schools have various levels of work that's being done. So we will get a picture between today and tomorrow, and definitely Monday when thousands of students arrive at school. But as I said earlier, the Ministry of Education has to find the remedy to have these works done in a timely manner. And I must say that for several years, the union, we've recommended that the ministry has a team of workers year round that would be decentralized, where every district will have the plumber, the electrician, the carpenter on a regular basis, and not wait for anything to fall.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a long time, many others as well. So that is still not the case?
Yeah.
Still not happening.
It's not the case. So maintenance is important, very important, because if you maintain on a daily or weekly basis, then at the end of the school year, you won't have these major projects that have to be done. Now, you know that some projects must be major because, like, for example, Government High is a school that was condemned at least 20 years that was condemned. So they're doing major work there, trenching and changing pipes. And so we understand that major work would have to be done over the summer break. But you have other schools where you have a water pump that's not working. The water has been out for 2 weeks prior to teachers even returning to school. So those types of things should be maintained on a weekly or a regular basis. Uriah McPhee school without windows. So you know that the first day of school, the air conditioning unit needs to be functioning properly. So who tested it a week prior to the return of school? You know, so Monday they're there with a guest speaker, having orientation, and AC malfunction. So you can't have teaching and learning in an environment that's not conducive.
Morning, Ms. Wilson. When do repairs start for school?
Well, some schools repairs started last week. Some started the week before. Others have not started. Stores with certain is so they are community contacts to find out or I was we have 14 fans that need to be replaced, but the fans have not been purchased yet. School is open. Teachers returned to school on Monday.
So typically then repairs don't start until the end of July, the beginning of August?
Well, actually, there's no standard operating procedure as to when they start. So they start, they do not start when a contractor comes and you see someone up and you're like, sir, and school, I just got my mobilization or I just got on. There's no standard operating procedure. There's no method to the madness. And what we're saying is, and actually around 2006, when education had individuals from the who had and they coordinated the repairs, and they had them in whether they're major, minor, so they had them in categories, and you would know how much time is needed to complete the work, what lead time is needed. The other thing that you would know too is all repairs does not call for like noise. So you would have some repairs that can be done even during school time because it does not call for like jackhammering or hammers and nails or noise. There's some work that is done without noise that can be done while school is going on, but it's not coordinated, and it's very frustrating because if you're saying that these are the persons who are leading the country, you would think that they would be thinking logically. Why by now the method to have these works done in a timely manner for schools to open seamlessly.
Which one or two of these schools really gives you the most concern? Like you really don't think it's going to be suitable for school next week? Is there anyone in that situation?
Well, government high they're doing major. You would have a T.A. Thompson, which has like 4 water pumps. Only one of the water pumps are working. So if you have 1,000 students along with 60 teachers and administrators on a campus, 600, 700, 800 students and teachers. You have a McPhee with several hundred students and a number of teachers, and the air condition is not working. So those are the schools that we're going to keep a close eye on, and there's work also being done in Family Island schools that we're going to keep monitoring. So our shop stewards who are dispersed throughout Grand Bahama and the Family Islands will keep me and the executive team updated on what is happening in each of these schools, and we get our updates on a daily basis.
Yeah. All right. So I want to ask: students are getting their results from the BGCSE and the BJC. They've gotten them now. We haven't had any official announcements from the ministry, the Department of Education as yet. But from what you know, what you're seeing, how did the students do with these national examinations?
We have not received any results as yet from BJC, BGCSE, GLAT. No results have been brought to our attention as yet. Mm-hmm. And this is rather late too, because by now we should have the results. I know teachers have marked the examinations already, but we have not received any results thus far.
You mean the union?
Yeah, the union, right. So once the government gets it, they would send us the summary and a copy of the total results. We don't have them, and I don't think the government has had any press conferences yet to express, to give the results. But we definitely gonna get, when we get it, we definitely gotta do as we do every year. We're gonna do an analysis, make a statement on the results. But however, we're not pleased that anything was done extraordinary to assist with the learning loss and to really give strong support to those who would have needed the help. Yes, we had teachers who did extra classes, and we were concerned that the ministry spent, I think, over $1 million to pay a U.S. firm to do an analysis of the learning loss for our students when the teachers had already done district examinations. They had already assessed the results. They knew where their students are at and were at. And they also were prepared to do the extra classes and the tutoring. But again, the government saw it fit to pay a U.S. company to tell teachers what we already knew, that the children did have learning loss the level of loss that they had. The teachers already did their examinations and testing of the students and were prepared to do the extra teaching and the different strategies. And the union would have recommended that the teachers be the ones to do classes in the morning, classes in the afternoon, the summer classes, those who wished to do the summer class, and they be paid a small stipend to do it. So there was some summer school, but we don't feel as though that that went far enough.
The impact of all of this, the fact that the catch up, the makeup that was required hasn't really happened, that so many have slipped through the cracks. What from your perspective, what do you think is going to be the outcome?
The impact is far reaching, and we're going to see results of it for years to come, because we've had some students we must say they skipped like 2 or 3 grades, and earlier in the same show you were talking about crime, but there's possibly a direct correlation between school failure, school dropouts, and the criminal element. And I know that there's been some research about it, not only in the Bahamas, but around the U.S. and around the world. One of the research talk about high school dropouts more likely to go to prison, and that was an article in a document called the Spotlight that was in 2018, and that was out of the U.S. And then even here in the Bahamas, in 2010, we had Jessica Minute and Tanya Gibson from the University of the Bahamas. They did a research that, and they were looking at the purpose of their research was to examine where the criminal behavior is associated with the individual's social environment. And through their research, they found out that a lot of the prison inmates, they dropped out of school really for fighting or bad behavior. So we have to look at the importance, how education is pivotal. It's a fundamental element for the building of our people and our students and the nation. And if we don't get education right, then the country cannot be made right. And a lot of times people say, oh, Wilson again. Well, if some of these people would do their work efficiently as Belinda Wilson tries to do her work, then we would have less problems. Because you may say, oh, they could go to school. They're just talking about, water, or the toilets are not working, or the air condition is not working. I went to school under a tree. Well, you went to school under a tree 50 years ago. We're celebrating 50 years. And when age 50, talk about an independent, we should be showing improvements all around your kid. It's one of those must not just have rhetoric and talk, but we must show that education is important, and whatever it is that we have to do to ensure that the education system runs adequately, efficiently, and smoothly, we must do that.
Yeah. All right. We need to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about what other challenges you think this school year is going to bring. And I want to ask you about Chat GPT and AI and students using this and what the implications are for that, and a whole lot more, Belinda Wilson. We're going to get to that after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Get involved, get involved. Let's go. All right. Woo.
summer your way with Scotiabank. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan this summer and open the doors to your dream destination, the perfect home renovation, or prep for back to school, and so much more. Enjoy competitive rates, flexible loan terms, and no payments for up to 2 months. Use your plan loan to unlock your perfect summer break. Apply for your Scotia Plan loan today and have summer your way with Scotiabank. Visit bs.scotiabank.com or call 242-356-1697 for further details.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, come play the game you know. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
Shavara Roka Enias, Chickchani Farms. I don't think I chose farming. I think farming chose me. Winning this award would definitely give us the funding that we need to start our farming season. Most persons who are in the agriculture field realize that at the start of the season, which is in the next couple of weeks, you do always need a bulk of cash. I think we have a great track record for the work that we've been doing in agriculture over the last 10 years. And so when I saw the opportunity for an award like this, I should just go ahead and enter.
The Agrarian Awards, September 16th.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity.
It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it.
My sales increase, and I can track my earnings.
Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today.
Call 356-7764.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
There's a new electric vehicle in town. The Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans. Available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride at a fraction of the cost to drive, leave the pump behind. Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing. Hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more.
Hey, Bill, glad to see you back in the office.
Who?
Bill.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I think you're mistaking me for someone else.
Tom.
Nope.
Jack.
No.
Alex.
No. Want me to just tell you?
Nope, I got this, George.
No, you don't. Still not me.
Adam.
Not even close, man.
We're like a coworker that didn't forget your name. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that.
Okay, good to see you, Mike John Sean.
It's Mordecai.
It's been 35 years since Custom Computers was founded, and we'd like to celebrate that milestone by thanking you, our clients and customers. You've inspired 35 years of expert service and support, partnering with the world's leading brands like HP, Apple, and Microsoft. We take pride in setting the bar for what you expect and deserve from a homegrown Bahamian business. We're here to serve you when you need us. So call 396-1101. Custom Computers, raising the standard since 1987.
continue to celebrate 50 years of independence, there is no better way to reflect on where we came from than to reconnect with the Family Islands. Visit BahamasResidence.com and take advantage of the 2 fly free from Nassau deal. Make your next trip to the Family Islands more affordable. If you're planning family beach days in Eleuthera, taking the plunge in Andrus's many blue holes, spoon fishing with the guys in Acklands, or simply rejuvenating with Cat Island's bush medicine. With the 2 fly free from Nassau promotion, there's no better time than now to visit the Family Islands. So explore the Exuma Keys, plan a retreat to Abaco, take the kids to historical San Salvador, escape to Long Island for a quick girls trip, lay low in Bimini, or enjoy a romantic trip to Rhode Island. There is an island waiting just for you. Fly free from Nassau to a choice of 10 islands and 35 participating hotels. Book your trip today. Visit BahamasResidence.com for details and begin your Family Islands getaway.
Take that mess from off the wall. Give that baby back its ball. Leave other people things alone. There's other ways to get involved. Get involved, don't be no fool, stay in school. Let your mind become a tool. Church were made for fools to be. Locked away from society. Get involved, get involved. Get involved, get involved. Get involved, get involved. There's not a way to get involved. Get involved, get involved. Let's go! All right. Woo!
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. We're talking with Belinda Wilson, the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers. There have been lots of concerns over many years about the curriculum and whether it is what we need to set students up for the future, really addressing future needs of the country and the world. I want to get your perspective on that and whether there have been sufficient changes, adjustments to this to make it more relevant to our times. Where do you think things stand at this point?
Okay, thank you again. The curriculum lasts right before the COVID, the Ministry of Education released a physical education curriculum, a science curriculum, and one other subject that escapes me right now. But what I think is that we do not revise the curriculum regularly enough. I believe that curriculum should be done at least or review at least every 3 years. Because if you go in current and think that change in the world rapidly, the curriculum must keep pace with what is happening, not only in your country but the world. And I believe we do not review or revise our curriculum often enough.
How often do they do it now?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's no standard. There's
boy.
no set time. So right before the COVID, around 2019, there was about 2 or 3 curriculum that was launched and released. Prior to that, it may have been maybe 10 or 15 years.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. So what do you think are some of the areas that need to be adjusted? What would you want to see that we aren't quite seeing right now?
Well, definitely your history and civics, where you're keeping apprised and updated on the current events in our country, and not just politics. Politics is a part of it, politics and government, but things that are happening now that relates to the day-to-day work because a lot of times our students, you would probably go to school and you'd question them now and ask them like, who is the prime minister, who is the general law? And many of them be able to tell you. So the other thing is history on the curriculum. I think history needs to go back to be one of the subject change of an elective. An elective means when you get and choose to take history, or you can choose RK or another subject. But I think that it should be a core subject, as English and mathematics are core subjects. I think history should be a core subject in the Bahamian educational system.
Well, as I mentioned before the break, Chat GPT and other AI tools really factoring into everything these days. We're hearing reports that more and more students are using these, and there are concerns that students are going to be using this to do most of the work. Where do you stand on this? What are your views? Are there concerns here about what this could mean, especially for this school year?
Okay, and that brings me to the point of where education is falling down on policies. Because, okay, the Chat GPT, it's there. It's artificial intelligence. It generates natural language interaction between humans and machines. So it translates. It writes speeches. It writes. It answers questions. It processes words. So education should be ahead of this, and there should have already been discussions with parents, with the union, with other stakeholders, and education as to how it's going to be addressed and what policies will be implemented surrounding ChatGPT, because even now you have universities that are using methods. So their methods are, they're going to be able to detect whether there's plagiarism. So they have software that they're using now. They are also doing language analysis and pattern recognition. They've hired experts to review and analyze the students' work. So if we are going to be a 21st century education ministry, and you have ChatGPT and other artificial intelligence software out there, then we must stay on the cutting edge, and we cannot pretend as if it's not there. We have to accept that it is there, it's here to stay, and how is it that we're going to, first of all, amalgamate it into our school system policies and procedures and processes are we going to use? What rules and regulations are we going to put in place?
Yeah.
To marry this with what we're doing, and how do we then analyze and detect when our students are using it?
I'm being reminded. I saw this report a few weeks ago that some universities are telling that they're requiring students to handwrite their essays now, so that they can stop the copying and pasting that people have been doing, or having the AI generate the essays for them. So is that likely to be something we see more of? You sit down and write this yourself, and before you turn this in.
Yeah, but I can't say what it is that the ministry intends to do, because as the union, there's been no conversation. And there's been no conversation. And I believe sometimes the ministry's thought is, I guess if you don't discuss it, then it probably will go away. But it's not going away. The artificial intelligence is here to stay. So there has to be a discussion. Everyone must get around the table, and policies must be put in place that governs how the artificial intelligence and similar, for example, chat GPT, how is it going to be amalgamated actually with what we're doing now, and what are the levels of detection that we're going to use to ensure that our students are not cheating or are not providing for us essays written by a machine.
Yeah. We've got a lot of text messages coming through. We're going to get to those in a bit. Couple of calls. Let's take these really quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ron. Good morning to Miss Belinda Wilson. This is a young schoolmate. I remember when you used to help us in grade 9, me and Stephen Emius and all the rest of them. So they really don't
Good morning.
You always loved helping people. But the thing is about the chat GDP, right? I don't want to get this in quickly. That is what, I could understand if the work is done home or if it's done in the school. Me, I dropped out of COB in 83, so I can't fathom taking an exam or doing something without writing. So the question is, if it is the existing students now, then they can see the difference in the algorithms because the teacher, or they might have collected algorithms on their writing skills and then compared to the chat GDP. But what about students who born into this model, like in another few years, they have chat GDP at the tip of their fingers? So, and also, Miss Wilson, I'd like you to answer this because I think you're sincere. This is where local government comes in, Dwight. You know the Mabel Walker Primary School, right, Miss Wilson? Mabel Walker. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that is closed down for a while now. I've heard that had an asbestos problem, but what I'm saying is that's a whole building went to waste. I like to expose inefficiencies here. Man-made decision, because the school it was a primary school, but it's just sitting there consuming security guards' income and nothing is being done. I don't know why is it that they haven't reopened it, given the fact that the geniuses know that there's more children being born on Yellow Elder and Richland and all the subsequent, they're overcrowded. So to the situation with Weber Walker, why is it going to waste? It's a whole school there, nobody's using it. That's all. I've been there. So I was just wondering, why is it that it's not nothing is being done to facilitate more students there? I just don't see it. It's a waste of taxpayers' money. I line up and listen.
All right, thank you very much. Belinda Wilson, you have an answer for that?
Yeah, but he went back to a very sore point for me because when the Minister of Education, the one whose name I hate to call, but Fitzgerald, was the minister, the discussion with the union, the meetings with the parents was that Mabel Walker, and the union agreed with him that teachers that were at Mabel Walker around that time would have a choice to go to T.G. Glover School or whichever school of their choice, because Mabel Walker's site, which he spoke about, was supposed to be turned into the Mabel Walker Professional Development School, and that was supposed to have collaboration with the University of the Bahamas, and funds were allocated in the budget for that. So probably someone need to go dig him up and ask him where the funds are and what happened to the Mabel Walker Professional Development School. But right now, what is in there is the virtual school. So there's approximately about 35 teachers in there who are providing virtual classes for students throughout the Bahamas because of the teacher shortages in the Bahamas. So, for example, if you have a Meguana that does not have an science teacher, then science is taught through the virtual school, and those persons are at the Mabel Walker site. But yes, it is the property it is a waste because a lot of the property is not being used. A lot of the rooms are not being used, and the purpose that was intended for that premises, it never.
My goodness! Wow. All right, let's take one more call, and we'll get to these messages really quickly. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight, and good morning, Belinda. I just called because I thought you were playing a replay from like last year. That's until you mentioned ChatGPT that I knew was just recent. You can't name a single school in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that is 21st century ready. Dwight, if you go back to 10 years ago when I used to call your show, many times I used to mention to you that I'm just calling now because I quickly make this point because I got to go teach a class. 10 years ago when I was teaching my younger children in the United States, I was volunteered to teach classes. So what happens is, and Belinda, you talk about this virtual school, the way technology has evolved even in the last 10 years, the teachers are teaching Zoom school. Virtual school and digital schools allows classmate lessons to be created and updated in real time, and they get to have an immersive type environment, not the teacher teaching every single day in any particular. But if you look at our education system from a 21st century environment, we are at least 18 years behind, and I challenge anyone in education, including the Minister of Education, dispute this fact. If we are to remain competitive in this region and to revolutionize our economic development, education is primary what it has to be done, and not the facade of digitization that we do. Digital processes is not digitization of the educational system, and ChatGPT and other things are great enhancement learning tools. But like 52 said, if you don't know how a student process is, how do you compare it to a current mode? But the question you have to ask, Belinda, for you to do ChatGPT analysis, the students would have to learn in a digital format, submit the information digitally and everything else, because your teachers are not going to retype all that information in again to have an analysis on it. We don't have a digital immersive environment, and not a single school in this, at least for the public stance, a single school. And so we don't even have to pretend that we can be digital until we rethink our schools, and 99% of the schools we have today would have to be torn down and rebuilt. Wow. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Let's get to these messages here. This person says here, not to add gasoline to the fire, but I have a cousin who just moved to Family Island to teach, and her school is not ready. She was sent home on Monday because the work was too extensive for her to get into her classroom. Wow. You mentioned shortages as well. How bad is it, especially in the Family Islands? What are we looking at this year?
Ministry is saying 55 persons is the shortages, but we would have to wait until, I don't take everything ministry say, I take it as a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. So we'll wait for our teachers to get into the schools for timetables to be distributed, for the classes to be the numbers, because you need 35 in the classes. So once teachers get in there, they get their timetables, they are given their number of students for each of the disciplines. Then we would know at each school where there is a shortage, and we will be able to give you a more accurate count.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So we talked about this earlier. Well, the students are getting the results, but you just haven't at the BUT gotten any of the results on the national exams, right? So this person's saying their son took BJCs in grade 7, got 2 BJCs with Bs, passed. Okay. Stepdaughter is in grade 10, took 6 and passed 5 with A's, B's, and C's. Okay, great stuff.
So very, very good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
This person says, Belinda Wilson, you are a truth teller, and we are grateful for your voice of reason. You have your finger on the pulse of education. Thank you for standing up and keep up the good work. All right.
Thank you very much.
This person says, is there anything positive to report?
Okay, the only positive thing I think I can report for the Ministry of Education this morning is that the Department of Education has a new acting director, Ms. Dominic Russell, and Ms. Dominic Russell has come to mine open airs, and she's been communicating very well with the union, with the Bahamas Union of Teachers. We communicate sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6 times per day. She has, if recommendations are given, or you give her something to review, she would review it. She'll get back to me. So I believe that's definitely a plus. However, there's John Moss, who's been promoted from district superintendent to acting deputy director of education, and it isn't 3 months as yet. And we have a lot of complaints about her. So I'm going to say it publicly because I've already written to education on the matter. I'm putting John Moss on notice. If we have an acting director who is prepared to work with the union, an acting director who is prepared to have a heart for teachers, and when matters are brought to her attention, she tries her best thus far to Moss, be putting you on notice. Your attitude, your bullying, and your behavior towards new teachers and teachers who are returning, we are not going to tolerate it. And let me tell you all exactly what I'm talking about. The ministry, the Department of Education, is to provide letters for teachers, $3,000 for their geographical posting allowance, $700 for their rent, for them to go to the family islands. The $3,000 is for round-trip ticket, is for a teacher to put their items such as their cars and their clothing and their personal items on the boat. It's for them to pay their security deposits at to the places where they're going to live, and to turn on like their telephone and light. So we have some teachers who are going to places like Abaco and Exoma, where the rent is $1,600, $100 per month. The ministry is giving $700. So the teachers then have to find additional funding or wait for, we've just agreed to a rental allowance increase. But she's telling teachers, like, I don't care how you get to the family island, get there, get to school, or your salary will be cut. But we're going to let her know this morning, you ain't sitting in that chair good yet, Janice Moss. And if you don't change your attitude, you're going to be out of that chair, because we're going to march to the Ministry of Education until you are removed. So check your attitude at the door, and your job is not to cause further frustration on the teachers, but it's to help the teachers. So stop your bullying now. That's all I can say for now. You've been warned. So a word to the wise is sufficient.
My goodness. Wow. Okay. Well, this is the first time in many years I've heard you be positive about the director. So that's something.
Yes, and she's trying hard, so she can't have subordinate officers disrupting the flow that she's trying to get. So Glenys Anna Martin, Honorable Minister, deal with John Moss. Lorraine Umbrister, Permanent Secretary, deal with John Moss now, or else she's going to be your Achilles heel.
Yikes. All right. I talk about this a lot. I don't know if you hear me talking about it, but driver's ed in school, is it something that's necessary? I think it's desperately needed. We've got some of the worst drivers in the world in this place. Is there time?
Driver's ed is necessary. And I go back again. When, not a minister whose name I don't like to call it, but I got to call it. When Jeff Lloyd was the minister, there's a lady in Grand Bahama. Her name is Allison. She provided me with an entire manual for driver's ed. And I believe that she was doing some level of the driver's ed in the schools in Grand Bahama. So it was a full manual for driver's ed, which she sent to me, which I gave to the minister. She never heard one word from him. So yes, driver's ed is important. And that's where I believe we have fallen down in education because, yes, reading, writing, that is very important. But there are other aspects of life that our children need to learn. And the school is the avenue for that. Mm-hmm. And if they don't get it in the schools, many times they won't get it elsewhere. Yeah. So I believe driver's ed should be introduced throughout the entire Bahamas. And if they want to do it as a pilot program, I'll definitely support it. So I'm going to try to see if I could reach out to Allison again to see if she still has the wherewithal to want to do it and to see if she can get, I guess, a meeting with the acting director.
Right. Wow. All right. So we only have about a minute or so left. We're days away from the start of school, the school year. What would you want to say to parents, to teachers, and students out there as they get ready to go back?
Yeah, quickly to the parents. Parents, we say this to you every year. Please know who your children are hanging out with, know who your children's friends are. Make sure you try your best to prepare the children for school for next week. Make sure you know who your child's homeroom teacher is. Get a phone number, visit the school sometimes just to check on your child. I want to say to the students, do your best. We know that you've had Hurricane Dorian in Grand Bahama and Abaco. You've had the COVID pandemic. We know that you're going to new schools. You're going to miss your old friends, but know that you're going to meet new friends, but study hard. Do the best that you can do. And I say to my teachers from Grand Bahama to the north, to Inagua in the south, you all know I'm here for you. The union is here for you, the Great Bahamas Union of Teachers. So get in there next week. Do the best you can. Teach the best way you can. Be forward to a great school year this year, and whatever the challenges are, once it's brought to our attention, we will bring to the attention of education to try to get it worked out. Those teachers who are posted to the Family Islands, if you do not have a letter, you do not have the $3,000 geographical posting allowance, you do not have the rent, stay put until you get everything, because I can tell you right now, we have some teachers who are sleeping on sofas in other teachers' apartments today as we speak, because they went to Family Islands without the relevant monies and documentation. So I'm going to continue to work with the acting director on these matters to make sure that when you go, you're able to move into your apartments and to start teaching in a comfortable environment.
Okay. Belinda Wilson.
And I can't go without saying solidarity forever.
Belinda Wilson, president of the BUT, Bahamas Union of Teachers. Thank you so much. A lot to process there, but thank you for sharing. We really appreciate you always. Thank you very much.
Have a great day. Bye, Laverne.
All right. We're going to break for news, and then we've got Morning Blend Business coming up. We're talking with the Bahamas Development Bank about their Get Funded webinar. You need the details. Stay tuned. That's up next.
Society, get involved, get involved. Get involved, get involved. Get involved, get involved. Get involved, get involved.
It's your back-to-school grow with Scotiabank. Use any Scotiabank credit card to purchase any back-to-school items valuing $150 and over, and you could be one of 3 lucky winners of $1,500. That's up to $4,500 in cash back for you to win your share when you buy books, uniforms, shoes, laptops, tablets, phones, and other accessories for back-to-school using your Scotiabank credit card. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information. Promotion ends September 3rd, 2023.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Indulge in an experience that awakens your senses with Nescafe Gold. Premium Arabica coffee beans, carefully selected, roasted to perfection, and finely ground, resulting in a unique and unmatched flavor and aroma that captivates the senses. Enticing aroma, smooth taste. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, August 24th, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And this morning we are talking with the Bahamas Development Bank about their Get Funded webinar that's set for this evening. Joining us to tell us more about it, we are very pleased to have Managing Director Nicholas Higgs. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Doing well, doing very well. All right, so we're going to get into the details about the webinar, but before we do, tell us about the Bahamas Development Bank. There are a number of similar organizations that are providing funding for entrepreneurs, for individuals, banks. But tell us the difference between what you're doing, what others are doing, and what banks are offering.
The Bahamas Development Bank started in 1974. Well, that's when we were legislated approved. And our goal is simple: to help small and medium businesses to grow across all islands. And this is done through direct lending traditionally. And so we help loans as low as $5,000. We can go up to $2 million, $3 million. We really can help small, medium, and even large businesses. And that's across numerous industries: services, tourism, transportation. We can help all of those places. And to your point about other entities outside of commercial banks helping, that only helps the market. We want to be able to be a part of the web that helps entrepreneurs. And so the difference between us and others, one, we can do small up to large. Our act allows us to do a lot of things that traditional commercial banks can't do. We don't only direct lend. We can do equity investments. We can establish funds if we want to. We can actually help persons do IPOs if we want to, but we've never utilized those portions before. But the development bank goal is simple: across all family islands, across the entirety of the Bahamas, no matter the age, no matter the industry or stage of life of your business, we're here to help provide you with funding.
Yeah, that the big number that
Nicholas?
you gave, that was much bigger than you hear from some others, definitely. So you can get large scale, indeed, it seems.
Correct. And so the bank has been on a fundraising effort for a while. And so we are very proud. And hopefully I can come back to your show a third time in this role and have some very good news for you within the next coming weeks on the direct lending amounts. And so that is the goal of the bank, and that's what we're here to do.
Sounds wonderful. Laverne.
Good morning. What are some of your requirements to be able to qualify for a small business loan?
For our general loans, it requires a business plan. And so you have to, and that plan has to really articulate the goal, the vision, the risk, the rewards, and the request that you're looking for from the bank. And so what are your use of proceeds? How will this help you as a startup or an existing business get to the next level? And then alongside that, you need the KYC information, your passport, proof of address, if you're incorporated, your regulatory registrar information, and things like your quotes. And so this is general, usually across a lot of the industry, and those are the requirements. But today we were talking about the webinar for the C15 and B2B relationship. And what's important about that is what you've heard so far, we've discussed so far, is direct lending. B2B lends directly to entrepreneurs. That's our bread and butter. That's what we have mastered and specialized in and will continue to do. However, at the same time, we want to look at other opportunities to help entrepreneurs. And one of those ways is our brokerage program. We have found that there are a lot of international agencies, funds, and groups who want to invest in businesses in the Bahamas. You see this for huge hotels, hundreds of millions of dollars, 200 million, 300 million. But there's also a market for small and medium businesses as well. And so why don't we have that access? And so what the Development Bank has done is we've started crafting those relationships. And the C15 fund, a Trinidadian fund, 10 plus million with a focus on the orange and creative economy. We signed an exclusive agreement with them. So anyone looking to get funding from the C15 fund, Trinidadian fund, you have to go to the Bahamas Development Bank. This is not to make the process harder, it's to make it easier, because as the lending institution of the country, we know what is required so someone gets funding. So the C15 trusts us to recognize when BDB sends a client to us, this is near perfect. And so this is what we've developed. And today's webinar is to help explain this process to entrepreneurs, provide them advice. And also, we have the general manager there. She's going to, the decision maker for the fund in Trinidad is here. They do as low as 100,000 up to 1.5 million. And she will be in that webinar to answer any questions, to explain the process, and to ensure it's clear to everybody who's in attendance.
And Nicholas, just a recap. You're saying, though, that it's really only for those in the orange economy?
Yes, and so the orange economy is vast. We're talking about hospitality. There are so many things that go into hospitality. You can do photography, filmography, health and wellness, sports management, animation. That's the creative, that's the artisans. Any of those massages, spas, all of these in that one of the least funded in the world. When you're looking at access to funding, the hardest things to fund are these. This is festivals as well. These are concerts. You don't find commercial banks funding these type of events. Even if it's a short-term event or a longer business, they're not really fond of funding those. And so we, as the bank, has said, you know what? We need to find a way to help this area as well. And by doing that, we got the C15 fund, as well as our direct lending that will be coming as well. And we're just trying to blitz entrepreneurs. But it's all for the orange economy. The orange economy is very wide ranging.
Has anyone taken advantage of this type of funding as yet?
So we launched it in June. We have 50 plus applications being done in the system. We have four that was completed and one being reviewed for final decision at the C15 right now. So I expect that decision to be next week. We're hoping that it is favorable. So far, the conversations have been really good. We've had 2 meetings, and this is over the course of 2 weeks, actually. We launched in June, but it took a while for persons to really get in and get their applications in. But within their application went in 2 weeks ago, and we already had 2 meetings. And next week we'll know. And so, yes, we're excited for that first one, and we hope it's approved.
Okay. So, again, this is for this webinar this evening, right?
Correct.
Again, one more time, tell us who should attend this.
Anyone who is in the creative space. And I want you to not get stuck and think of it in a box. I want you to think far and wide. And so if you're in tourism to and from the airport, that is hospitality. If you're doing the spas, that's hospitality. So the entirety of the orange economy, I would like to see you in attendance. And if you aren't sure if you're in the orange economy, if you fit, then you need to come in attendance and ask, or just listen in and it'll tell you, okay, it does fit for me, or maybe this fits better for my friend, my cousin, or brother. But those in the orange economy, the creative space, we wanted to see you out today.
All right, so the type of funding, are these loans? Are these grants? Is it a combination? What are we talking about here?
We're talking debt. Technically, they can do equity, but equity's process is a little too difficult for small businesses. I wouldn't want to put them through that. We have a very good relationship with the Bahamas Investment Authority, and so they lead when funding like this is coming into the country. And so they are working alongside us. So once approvals occur, they agree that we'll try to make the process a little smoother for small businesses, because they're not accustomed to coming to a process such as BIA. And so we're not only creating the opportunity for funding, the debt financing, but we're also creating a framework to try and reduce the amount of work or lack of transparency that small entrepreneurs deal with all the time.
So you said equity.
It's debt. So it's debt, and it's they can do equity, but that's not the route we'll focus on. The focus will be on debt, as low as 100,000 up to 1.5 million.
Okay, all right. We're getting some text messages, and you can text us as well. If you have any questions, tweet us. Text us at 422-4796. Tweet at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook, or get your calls in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or toll free 242-300-5720. This texter is asking if Airbnbs would qualify if somebody wanted to do that. Does that qualify, Nicholas? Did we lose Nicholas?
No, Nicholas, if you are responding, your mic is
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I definitely
Okay.
muted. Sorry.
All right, so they're asking if Airbnbs would qualify. If somebody wanted to do an Airbnb, could they get funding through this tonight, what you're offering?
That fits under hospitality. I would say come in attendance and ask. And so my understanding is it should fit under that.
Okay. All right. Excellent. All right. You've got a number of people you mentioned, the general manager of C15. Tell us more about that and some of the others who will be speaking this evening.
Oh, thank you. So Lorraine O'Connor, who is the general manager, she will be there in attendance. And again, as I mentioned, she's a decision maker. This is the place, this is the person you want to speak to and ask your questions to. Similarly, we have Sebastian Gibbert. And as I mentioned, this is a Trinidadian fund. And so the Sebastian Gerbert is from the Hideout Clothing. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they have if you're a social media follower, it's about 85,000 Instagram followers. They're very popular, and they got funding from the C15 to open their flagship store in Paris. Exciting company to Paris is amazing. We have Zamani Moody. He's from Twisted Entertainment. That's a Barbadian company. They focus on live events. They brought Burna Boy into one of the countries in the Caribbean as well, and they did that through the C15. And so when you're looking at these type of opportunities, this is what they're looking for. So if you have this vision of this festival, this event, a better version, I don't even want to say it like this, but you look at the Fire Festival, it was not done correctly. But these type of innovation, C15 enjoy. And we want Bahamians to not stop thinking because of what the Fire Festival did, but think of it in a better context. And this is an opportunity to get access to funding for it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, so tell us what people need to do to be a part of the webinar tonight.
Go to our Facebook page, Bahamas Development Bank, and just register. And you will see a link, and you just come into the meeting, the webinar, and you just listen to information. Go to our Facebook page, Bahamas Development Bank. If you have questions and want to talk to somebody, our phone numbers are 702-5700, 702-5700, and our Grand Bahama office number is 352-9025, 352-9025.
All right, so you can accommodate any number of people? Are there any limits tonight?
I thought we were going to get about 80 persons. That was my plan. Mm-hmm. But when we opened it up the first day, we already, up to now, we're up to about 144 persons already signed up.
Oh, wow.
When we had lunch in June, we had 150 persons attend, just all in the Orange Economy asking questions. And so the Orange Economy is underfunded. And so that's around the world. That's not only in the Bahamas. And so an opportunity like this, I really hope that this money for the Bahamas, we wanted the Bahamas to get a good amount of this funding.
Do you know how many people C15 is looking to fund? Are there limits on their end? What are they talking about?
So their parent is called Aspire Management Fund. It's a bigger fund that does even bigger opportunities that we have a relationship with. And we're hoping when that is settled, we can do bigger projects in more industries. But specifically for the C15, we're looking at a $10 million fund. And you're looking at low as 100,000, 1.5 million. So you can see where it could be, maybe it could honestly be 10 persons, but it could also be 20 to 30. And they're constantly going to get refunded every few years. So I think the number they'll probably do a year probably is 5 to 10. They'll probably get done a year based on just quality of applications.
Mm-hmm. We've got a call here. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
And good morning to your guests on air. I just want to say that the initiative is one that's very exciting. It is something that many of us who have been in the hospitality/entertainment industry have been longing for quite some time in terms of finding funding to put infrastructure, which we believe that the country can benefit from. I'm part of a small group right now that's been seeking funding for creating one of the best theater environments for entertainment in the country. Seeing that we have lost one or two of the ones that's been affiliated with hotels, for instance, like the Crystal Palace, we had the Rainforest Theater. We're looking for something like funding to build an infrastructure similar to that, so as all of our local artisans who are in the entertainment or acting profession have a venue that they can come. They can practice, they can do productions before carrying it either local or global. We have been looking for someone who will give that aspect into funding to actually creating that environment. And it's good to hear that the Bahamas Development Bank is embarking upon this initiative to at least inspire some of us and give us hope that there is an avenue that we can utilize in order to make this a reality. So definitely I will be tuning into that webinar. I will be trying to get online to see what is being offered on behalf of the small group that I'm a part of, to see if we can take advantage of this initiative. So I just want to say congratulations to this opportunity, and I look forward to learning more about it. So thanks once again, Dwight, for taking my call, and I will be tuned in.
Okay. All right. Wonderful stuff. All right. So, Nicholas Higgs, tonight we're just listening, or are you making a pitch? That's not happening, right? If you are concerned of others taking your ideas, what exactly is going to happen tonight?
What's going to happen is I'll open. Lorraine will also speak about, she's the general manager. She will speak about her process, and she'll explain how does someone apply, what they're looking for, the type of projects receive it in. And then we'll hear from those who received the funding as well. And we'll get some information on what their experience was like. Was it difficult? How did they overcome the hurdles? How did it feel to, when you finally got that approval? Maybe how was it in your country when you tried to raise money in this industry yourself? And what challenges you experienced? And we may find that it's very similar there as it is in the Bahamas. And this opportunity was a shining light. And so this meeting, you will get information. You'll be able to ask questions. You will make sure, I expect persons to ask questions that gives clarity to themselves and all the listeners, and to ensure transparency. So you'll get information, you learn from other entrepreneurs as well, and you'll have an opportunity to ask questions.
Mm-hmm. If one is interested in grants as opposed to a loan, is that a possibility at all?
For this program, no. So I'll quickly shift. And so though we're doing this we're brokering this funding we're the middle person between, we're still doing our direct lending. And as you saw, you would have seen, the Prime Minister mentioned $30 million from Avrexim that we're negotiating, the African Export-Import Bank, as well as you would have seen my chairman, Senator Quinton Lightbourne, speak about it as well. And so with that type of funding, and from the European Investment Bank as well. So one is, as well as the European Investment Bank, we're negotiating these two deals, but under the European Investment Bank, there's a potential for a $3 million grant to assist all entrepreneurs who get funding under that program. So we're trying to build grants into these programs as well, and we utilize our partners. Our partners are important. Small Business Development Center does grants. The Bahamas Development Bank ourselves, we did a grant in June for the 50th anniversary. Last year, we did one for the Family Islands. So we're looking at ways to get grants involved, and whether we do it ourselves, we're doing it through our international partners, as well as our local partners. So we're trying to find more avenues for grants as well.
Mm-hmm. So if you want
for this specific program,
not for this one tonight, okay. But if you wanted information, again, call those numbers that you gave, and you can take it from there, I guess.
Excellent. So I look forward to seeing everybody gets this information. If you're thinking about getting a business, if you're currently in business, or you're expanding your business, this is an opportunity for yourself, and we look forward to seeing you.
All right. One more time, tell people how to be a part of the Get Funded webinar this evening, and give those numbers again for folks who are interested in getting more information.
You can go to our Facebook page, Bahamas Development Bank, our Facebook page, as well as you can call 702-5700, 702-5700, or 352-9025, 352-9025.
And again, the webinar is this evening, 6 p.m.
6 p.m. until 7 p.m. And I anticipate it'll go a little longer than that, especially for the questions and answer sections. But please, just come in, get the information. Do not miss the opportunities. And more importantly, this is for all islands. This is not a Nassau or Grand Bahama focus. Any island listening in, please, we'd like you to be in attendance. They fund all islands. Once you have your viable project, justify it, and your plan articulates that, any island can get this funding.
Excellent stuff. Nicholas Higgs, Managing Director of the Bahamas Development Bank. Thank you, sir, for being here and talking with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day, everybody.
All right. We're going to take a break and then be back. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing nations of Bahamians.
At Alive, we believe that every common loftier goal is within our reach. We believe in the essence of our identity, the richness of our history, and the boundless potential that lies within us. That's why our network is built by, owned by, and managed by us. Alive, believe in Bahamians. Visit bealive.com to take advantage of our golden independence deals. Alive, believe in best.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan. Island game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan. Dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan. Island game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan. From the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, come play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Tired of paying too many bills and loan payments each month?
Shrink your monthly debt payments down to one easy payment with our debt consolidation loan.
It also has a built-in savings that pays you 5% interest.
Inquire about our debt consolidation loans today.
Call 356-7764.
It's time for your work. CFAL. Prime Minister Philip Davis opening the first ever MasterCard FinTech Summit in the Bahamas explained to the audience yesterday of local and foreign FinTech professionals that the survival of this country's financial services industry hinges on its ability to innovate and adapt to changes in the industry. The summit at Rosewood at Bahamar. Davis says the next step in the Bahamas' evolution as a leading financial services industry is the integration of fintech. He explained to the summit that the country is well positioned to be a strategic hub for digital assets companies, hailing this country's expertise in international compliance and regulation as a primary reason to do business in the jurisdiction. He said, though, that the most important aspect of fintech growth at the moment is an effective regulatory framework. We'll also add that summit yesterday, the Bahamas, we're told, is becoming a solid partner with MasterCard. That's according to the company's country manager for the West and Dutch Caribbean markets, Jamina Elia. She told Guardian Business that fintech companies should not be afraid to approach MasterCard to expand their capabilities. Elia, who spoke after the launch of the summit yesterday, said that while Latin America is leading having with MasterCard, the Caribbean is not far behind. She says MasterCard is prepared to lend support to firms that are in need of fintech solutions and collaborations. Bassett's Rum, produced by Bahamas Distilling Company in Freeport, is the first Bahamian rum to be distributed in the United Kingdom. According to the UK mission, the statement, in a statement, the British High Commission in the Bahamas assisted Bassett's in securing a distribution contract with Chelsea Vintners, a prestigious British wine and spirits distributor. You can get all the details about it in today's Guardian Business section. And United States-based JSX Airlines, which is described as a hop-on jet service, is launching a new service to Abaco. The Ministry of Tourism confirming this yesterday. New service is expected to begin December 14th. The airline is described as a unique public charter operator that offers the perks of private air travel on spacious 30-seat jets. Flights are booked by the seat at attainable fares. Details on that in today's Guardian Business section. And in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday. Your market movers, Commonwealth Bank moving 26,050 shares, closing up 5 cents to $4.30. Consolidated Water up 1 cent to $5.06. And Emir Incorporated up 1 cent, closing at $9.17. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,674.80, up 6.79. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. We are back with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning. And we had a lot to talk about this morning. In our final 3 minutes, we can recap and get your views on some of the stuff that you heard, maybe about the opportunities with the Development Bank just now, or what we talked about with Belinda Wilson, the BUT president. And that was quite something, especially towards the end there, Laverne. But I know a lot of people nervous, excited about the start of the new school year for public schools, especially next week. So let's talk. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796.
Yeah, I know when Mr. Hicks was on, he talked a lot about tourism, but that's not the only thing in the orange economy. So I don't want anyone who was listening to think, oh, it's just tourism, but it's also design and visual arts. It's also news media and software. It's performing arts. It's music. It's literary arts. It's all of that. So if you fall into any of those spaces, make sure that you go ahead and you register for that meeting.
Yeah, excellent. So what do you think about the school year and the challenges we're facing? We're seeing some pictures of some schools that still need a lot of help out there. Every year we hear.
It's like Ms. Wilson said, it's every year. Yeah. Every year, if you go back last year, it'll be the same thing. So every year that we've had school opening, we've heard this. Mm-hmm. Schools aren't ready on time. But some of them big issues. The minor issues, you're thinking to yourself, well, if this is a minor issue, how come we couldn't get this done, in time? Why is this just being done now? So we're always hearing about these things. And at some point, we have to say, this is madness. At some point.
Well, this reminds me of the bail and murder situation.
Right.
I mean,
it's like we're on this, what is it, a hamster wheel?
Yeah. It's madness. It really is. And obviously somebody likes this. I don't get it. But here we are. People have been joking. Yeah, if we played a show from 5 years ago, it would be the exact same conversation. The school isn't ready. We heard that this is happening here. The repairs are still going on there. But the other issues, we know, again, we had a lot of people slip through the cracks these few years. The chickens are slowly, but they're going to be coming home a lot faster soon, coming home to roost, right? This is going to bite us in the butt hard if it isn't already doing it. And are we ready for this? Are we ready for this? We had challenges before the pandemic.
Yeah, so,
We'll see.
I stand by this. The things that we consider important gets done. No matter the shortest or longest length of time, whatever it takes, if it's important to us, you will see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we have these problems, that speaks to the level of importance. Because if it was an issue, if it was a big deal, like once someone texted me, said, their kids don't go to those schools.
Oh, boy. And what does that mean? They don't care?
No, the text isn't saying that. They're saying in government, their kids.
Oh, I see.
They may have gone to that school,
Yeah.
but they have now ascended to a position of power or financial freedom, whatever, where their kids don't have to go to public school and may not go to public schools.
Well, I think you know my policy on this.
Things tend to be more urgent. Things tend to be more urgent to us when it affects us personally.
Well, I've been saying it for years, right? And a lot of people don't like it. People hate when I say
stopped.
it. People, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. People hate when I say it that that we need to make it mandatory for the cabinet, the children of the cabinet to attend public schools, especially the Minister of Education. Right? But you need to know. You need to experience it. Maybe all elected officials. What? No. Indefinitely. What? If that's what you want to do.
If you do 1 year, Dwight,
it would change everything?
It would change everything.
Yeah. And then what? Then they get to send them back to private schools?
We'd have running water, pipes wouldn't be broken, AC in a building that has no windows it would be a priority to make sure that AC is working. We'd make sure that the truss, the roof, whatever you want to call it, is being repaired properly and correctly. We would make sure that we have everything in place.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, well then don't run for office. Don't do it. Don't get selected for the post, because that's a requirement. We need to know firsthand what's going on, and that'll be a great way to know. No more detachment. No more. No, you experience it. If it's good enough for the rest of us, it's good enough for your kids too. Won't it be?
Yep.
Same thing with the hospitals. Nope. You don't get to.
You don't get to fly out. You don't get to go to another private institution right here.
There you go. Oh, boy. Yeah. This person says, well, all the minister's children are adults. Well, no, that's not the case. Not all of them. Some of them do have young children. So, no. Not at all.
Right? If they don't have any kids that age, then grandchildren, somebody have to go.
I don't know if you can make the grandchildren go there, but right.
Somebody needs to go.
Somebody, right? Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi. Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing well.
Good. I do think that your suggestion is a good one about ministers having their children at the public schools. But when I think about the logistics of it, for example, I'm not a minister now. My kids are in a private school. To relocate and uproot them is a consideration, So what
maybe you need to wait till they graduate. Yeah, that's right. Until you offer yourself for public service.
Because if I say, okay, I want to run for public. Oh, my kids are in a private school. I can't do that to them. I think there's more. It's an excellent idea you're suggesting, but I think the logistics of it really needs to be thought about.
That's their problem. That's their problem. You figure that out. You and your family talk about it, and I guarantee you, some of these will be. What we're seeing is some of them disrupting their children's lives to send them to more expensive private schools yeah. But okay, I hear you.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. They got no problem sending you to more expensive school once they start making more money. But
yeah,
right?
For sure.
Never an issue.
That's a disruption.
You're right.
That's a disruption, right?
Not going to be a problem.
And they don't have an issue saying, "Oh, okay, I'm in a different financial category now, kids. You're going to wherever."
Ha. So, but yeah, if that is the issue, then maybe you should wait before you run or offer yourself. But yeah. Ah, boy. So, I mean, what do you do? I want to get back to, very quickly in our final minute here, the bail for murderers issue, as our leaders don't want to address it. And the advice is stay invisible.
Be invisible, Dwight. I mean, and, you know, I'm taking that nugget and running with it, because that just, that solved everything. Let's be invisible, Dwight.
Maybe they're selling cloaks. I don't know. Maybe you have
I don't know how you
force
do
field.
you know. So just be invisible.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a person who is out on numerous bails and you get another bail and you get out, stay invisible.
Mm-hmm. And if you know people out on bail for multiple murders, I mean, tell them right now how much you care about them and love them. You might not get a chance because this is the way we do it here in the Bahamas. So seek them out today. I know it's going to be hard if they're invisible, but seek them out and tell them that despite all the challenges you've faced and all the things you're accused of doing, I don't know whether you did them or not. I love you, and I'll see you on the other side. Be safe, fish. But know that that's just how I feel. Bye-bye. Good luck. That's what we are. That's who we are now in the Bahamas. So everybody, do with that information what you will. But welcome to the Bahamas. Laverne, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Always is. Have a great one.
Thank you for the opportunity. Have a great remainder of the day.
Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next. Grab your camera, capture the spirit of the Bahamas, and win cash and prizes. Scotiabank, in partnership with the Guardian Media Group, invites all youth, amateur, and professional photographers to enter the Celebrate Bahamas 50 photography competition, being held under the theme One Nation, One Legacy, Our Future. With more than $8,000 in cash to be won, snap those photos and send them in by August 30th. Visit GuardianTalkRadio.com or bs.scotiabank.com to find out how to enter. Let's celebrate our proud nation in photos. Terms and conditions apply.
Let me ask you a few questions. What's your name?
Pam.
Favorite food?
Steak.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Is your money safe?
It's under my bed, so I guess so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, why?
Unless your money is in a bank or credit union that's a member of the Deposit Insurance Corporation, there's no guarantee it's safe.
Yeah, but what if something happens to the bank?
Your Bahamian dollar deposits are insured up to $50,000, so you'd still be ahead. Plus, your mattress might catch fire. Then what?
Man, those banks and credit unions are looking good right about now.
Visit the DIC's website at www.dic.bs. Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.